G'day Hammerheads, and today we've got, well, this box. So I don't normally do unboxings on this channel, but I figured given the topic, why not? You know, it's a pretty Amazon-y kind of thing. Don't know what that energy thing's all about. So straight away we can see that they're actually saving a bit of money just by not springing for a glossy color printing on the box. Just a plain cardboard. Pretty good little kit there. US plug, of course. And here she is. Yeah, seems alright so far. Battery shit's half full. Alright, so I have charged it up, had a bit of a play, and she feels like a pretty solid little tool. You know, I'm pretty impressed with how cheaply they've been able to sell this kind of thing and how good the quality feels, you know, it's pretty good. Now Denali, Skil, and also Flex, they're all owned by this company Chevron. And if we bring in my other Chevron tool, which I also bought in North America, you can see there's a definite family resemblance, not just because of the color scheme, but a lot of the styling too. For instance, you know, batteries, I mean, that's just a bigger version of that, like pretty obvious there. Very, very similar styling. There is literally a red version of this made by Skil, which has, you know, 1 or 2 extra features. I mean, the action on this trigger feels sort of just as nice as the Flex version. That one feels a little more solid, but you know, things like that, you can definitely see the resemblance. So I guess this little guy, you know, got a pretty good pedigree, even though they would be making them as cheap as they can for Amazon. All right, let's look at the specs. So this is actually the model number here, ARH, so I guess that's Amazon Rotary Hammer 1702, don't know what that means, B, and then 00 seems to be the US version, because the UK version that I saw has a different suffix there. So price in AUD, the full price is about 230 bucks, including a lot of shipping. I got it on sale, I think I paid about 190. And right now it's on sale 82 bucks US, or normally 109.95. Now the weight on my scale is about 1.4 kilos, or in pounds, about 3 pounds. Capacity is 1/2 inch or 12.7 mil. Impact energy 1 joule. So I think that's actually the lowest of any hammer on my table here. So we look at the 12 volt to volt, that's 1.1. 12 volt Makita's 1.1, yeah. So 1 is the lowest so far. Impacts per minute 5,000. Revolutions per minute 900, and impact power is 5,000. So that's just 1 joule, 5,000 times a minute. And let's check the revs. So about 840, just shy of the 900 advertised. So I got this Imperial set of Maxim drill bits that I bought in North America, so may as well use them because, you know, this is a North American tool. So we've got 1/4 inch, 3/8, 3/16, whatever the hell that is. So I'll do a few of those inchy sort of sizes, and because this little guy is marketed at the home yowner DIYer kind of crowd, I'm just going to do some wood drilling, just using one of those SDS adapters. Like that in there. I'll see if she can drive some screws too with one of those. All right, Meow, so let's see how she goes. 3/16. Half inch. brick, half-inch. Cinder block. So wood drilling. Set it to drill only. Bit annoying, but I guess it works in a pinch. So we've got the driver bit on there now. Alrighty, so I actually snuck an 8mm bit in there. Don't worry guys, that's about 1/3 of an inch, pretty similar. But because this is an unofficial time, I'm not going to count it. Hang on, let's just put a star there. So this drill doesn't have a handle, so I can't time it as purely as I can with the others. So this is just going to be an unofficial time for now, but 25.96 seconds for an 8x80mm drill. Fair bit behind everyone else we've tested so far, but hey, you know, it's literally 1/4 the price of the Milwaukee, which was the next fastest on this list. All right, so I did actually throw a 1/2-inch drill bit in there, and that is actually the max capacity. So there you go, max capacity by 80mm drill. She's come up in the ranking a fair way. But, you know, not super surprising because 1/2 inch is a fair bit smaller than 18mm, 26mm these guys did, so that's about an inch. And you know what? Smaller drill bits are just going to drill faster than bigger ones. Alrighty, meow. So pretty impressive little stuff from this little grey drill here. She actually handled all of that stuff just fine. She managed to get these screws in, I think they're 10 gauge, and actually managed to get them out too, which I was pretty impressed by, because often once you've got all that static friction on a fastener, little tools don't usually have the torque to actually undo them. So yeah, pretty good, pretty impressive stuff. After all of that work, the battery is on 3 stars. Now, when I was drilling, it was down to 2, but I guess it's cooled off and, you know, had a bit of a rest, come back up to 3. So to give you an idea, all of that work used, well, you know, one star on the battery there. But I did have to redo the screw part because my camera battery died. So that should give you an idea of the kind of battery life you get out of this little thing. The other thing I didn't like about it was it doesn't actually have a handle. So that means I couldn't actually do my normal testing method. These drill results, you know, they're not really comparable, so that's why they're unofficial. But it just meant that drilling downwards, I kind of just held it, you know, however I could. If you're going to hold it this way, if you're drilling, you know, sideways or maybe upwards, that little post thing that you're meant to hold here, that's rubberized, you know, probably work fine. Plus, if you're just a, you know, a home yarner, a DIY or whatever, you're probably not going to use it all that much, so it doesn't need a handle. I mean, she's a pretty good little tool, honestly. As always with the masonry drilling, you got that paradox of the smaller bits tend to be actually harder to make the drill struggle just because they go in so tight. You know, there's not much kerf on these little guys. Dust builds up in the hole, gets really tight. The drill does bog down a little bit. So interestingly enough, she struggled more with the little ones than with the big ones, but that kind of happens, you know. I thought the real test of the torque was that she could actually undo a screw that was fully driven into pine, because yeah, often sort of weaker tools can't really do that, but she handled it just fine. So there you go, hammerheads. I thought it was a pretty interesting decision for Amazon to commission their own line of power tools. But since it is just a rebadged Skil, you know, shouldn't be too arduous for either party. Very little design effort for the tool maker. You know, Amazon would be a big buyer, so they could just say, give us 100,000 of these things and, you know, we'll sell them for whatever it was. So the manufacturer is actually listed as Amazon in Seattle, so that's interesting. And something I don't like is right here, it says for use only with a Denali battery. But guys, it's Skil. I mean, I'm sure elsewhere I've seen it advertised as compatible with Skil. It even says by Skil. Why are we just going for use only with Denali battery? That's a bit of a cheap out. So I reckon I might have to grab the Skil version of this and just, you know, do a head-to-head at some point in the future, see how different these things are, because, you know, maybe the batteries are lesser quality than the Skil ones or something like that. Anyhow, Hammerheads, this has been a cool, low stress and kind of interesting video for me, because, you know, I do like trying the foreign tools that you can't really get in Australia. You know, I got the old power adapter thing, so it's all good. Anyhow, if you are picking up what I'm putting down, you know, chuck us a like and a cheeky subscribe and, you know, all that stuff. I mean, you know how YouTube works, and I'll scratch you later.